Hey guys, this is Javi. I'm a couples and mental health therapist here in Chicago. And today, in this first YouTube video, by the way, I'm so excited to be starting this channel. We're going to actually be analyzing characters Belly and Conrad from The Summer I Turned Pretty. And we're going to be analyzing their relationship and their cycle through the lens of emotionally focused therapy. So, just a quick note before we start. I know that these characters are completely fictional, so in no way I'm trying to diagnose them or say something that might feel inadequate overall. So this video is for educational and psychoeducational purposes only, where we actually analyze and understand a little bit more about how the cycle comes into play for both characters, right? Also, quick note, even though I am a mental health therapist, by no means these videos replace therapy in general. So if you do need a therapist or you're feeling like your relationship or something else, you need to seek therapy advice, I will recommend you searching and looking for a licensed therapist in your area so that you can actually get the treatment that you need. So let's get started with The Summer I Turned Pretty and the first video of the channel. Okay, so you're probably wondering why I'm still obsessing over these two fictional characters when the series and the TV show ended about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So, the reason why I'm still talking about this is because we can see the cycle come into play so clearly with Belly and Conrad. And I thought it would be such a great idea to analyze both characters through the lens of emotionally focused therapy so we can actually understand a little bit more about the cycle. We can understand a little bit more about the attachment wounds and what we mean when we're talking about the pursuer or withdrawer cycle. So let's get into it. First, I do want to give you some context on emotionally focused therapy. EFT is actually one of the most well-researched approaches to couples therapy. And the core idea is that our deepest need in relationships are emotional safety and connection. And when we don't feel that or when we don't get that, we get stuck in negative cycles of communication. EFT doesn't just focus on surface fights, for example, who did the dishes or who didn't do the dishes. It actually goes underneath to the longing and the fear driving those fights. In EFT, we actually say it's not the people that are the enemy, it's the cycle that we get trapped in. Okay. So, with that context, we're going to analyze the cycle of Conrad and Belly. And first, I want to give you a little bit of context around Conrad and Belly overall. We're going to analyze both characters and how they're both interacting with each other. So let's start with Conrad's attachment wound, right? So we know that he withdraws. We know he's a withdrawer. And the wound actually is coming from a fear of inadequacy or letting other people down. Contextually, he feels pressure to hold everything together, right? There are a few factors driving this force. For example, family grief, responsibility, perfectionism. And when triggered, his wound literally says, and his story is, I can't get this right, so it's safer to just shut down. The behavior that we're seeing in screen is that he withdraws, he avoids talking about his feelings, he shuts down when he's feeling overwhelmed, and he doesn't communicate. Now, if we actually analyze him from the EFT lens, his distance isn't about not caring. It's his way of protecting himself from failing. It's his way of protecting himself from the story that he's telling himself that I'm not enough. I'm never going to be enough. I feel like a failure. It's safer to just shut down and not be there for the people, right? That's a protective part. Now, how does all this interact with his partner, Belly? Let's talk about her attachment wound as a pursuer. So she actually fears abandonment and fears not being chosen. So Belly is actually longing for this reassurance, this consistency. And when she gets triggered, her wound says, "You're going to leave me. I need to know I matter," right? The behavior for Belly is that she pushes for closeness. She's demanding answers. She escalates when being ignored, and this can actually be seen as a protest behavior. Through the EFT lens, her protest isn't about being too much. It's her way of reaching out for connection, right? If I pursue you enough, you're going to respond to me and you're actually going to be there for me as a partner. Now, how do their wounds collide, right? Let's go back. Conrad's wound, feeling inadequate, Belly's wound, fear of abandonment, right? How do both of them collide with each other? When Belly pursues, Conrad withdraws, and when Conrad withdraws, Belly escalates, right? Each confirms each other's fears. Both wounds are talking to each other, right? We see it so clearly. For Belly, it just could reinforce the idea and her own story of, see, you really didn't want me. I don't matter to you. I'm not good enough for you. Um, and you don't want me. And for Conrad, his own wound of, see, I can't ever get it right. I'm not good enough. I feel like I'm always going to disappoint you no matter what I do. And this is the pursuer withdrawer cycle at the heart of emotionally focused therapy. And we see it so clearly. This is why I really wanted to make the first video analyzing both of these characters because it feels so clear, right? Like we can see it so clearly how Belly's pursuing, how Conrad shuts down, and the cycle just repeats itself. Now, why do we like this TV show so much? Besides the great music, and shout out to the music producers, actually, we can relate to it because many couples live in this dynamic, right? Pursuers resonate to Belly's fear of disconnection, withdrawers resonates with Conrad's fear of inadequacy. And watching them can be really painful. And I know you guys can relate because it really mirrors how real love can get stuck, even when there's genuine care for each other, right? We don't ever doubt that they do actually love each other, but we actually see the pursuer and the withdrawer cycle come into play when they are both interacting with each other. Now, how do we as therapists reframe, or from the lens of emotionally focused therapy, what would we do in this pursuer withdrawer cycle? So, like I said earlier in this video, in emotionally focused therapy, the focus is on helping partners see the cycle as the enemy. So we point it out and we see the cycle as the enemy, not each other as the enemy. And I think that helps just kind of relieve some of the tension. We normalize the experience and the cycle between both partners because actually this is more common than we think, right? We all have relational attachment wounds. And I know that's a far thing to say, but we all have experienced one way or another in our lives relational wounds. And sometimes we do get stuck in the cycle. So when we normalize that for couples, they can actually take a step back and look at the cycle as the enemy. Now, how do we work, for example, with Belly or Conrad or with a pursuer and a withdrawer? So for pursuers, we can help them share softer emotions, right? For example, I feel really scared when you pull away instead of protesting or escalating. And withdrawers, we can teach them how to stay engaged in small ways, or asking for those space in a way that feels reassuring for the other partner. For example, I care about this conversation. I need a moment for myself. I'm going to go take a walk for 20 minutes, process what happened, and then I'm going to come back. So with guidance, couples can move from being caught in the cycle and finding safety and closeness again, right? And something that I love to say to pursuers and withdrawers to understand the cycle more is that for withdrawers, they need calm to find connection. And for pursuers, they need connection to feel calm, right? So if we look at it from this standpoint, I think it really helps us understand more where it's coming from, right? The protective part of each attachment wound. So when we look at Belly and Conrad, it's not really about blame, right? I'm not here to say Conrad was right and Belly was wrong or the other way around, right? It's about two really young people who got caught in a cycle that their attachment wounds created. And that's why the story feels really relatable for all of us. Now, if you notice yourself in this cycle, please remember awareness is always the first step to change. And if it feels hard to shift alone, because let's face it, it's hard, consider reaching out to a therapist trained in emotionally focused therapy or a couples therapist in general. Thank you so much for watching this first video. Subscribe for more therapist insights and let me know in the comments if you want me to break down another couple of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I really kind of want to do Jeremiah's role in the love triangle next, but let me know if you'd be interested in that. And also, please don't forget to like, save this video, or send it to other people. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.